Thank you for tuning in to Success with Jess.
Hey, welcome back to Success with Jess. If you're tuning in for the first time, I'm so excited you're here. And if you've caught my intro episode, you already know this podcast is all about real talk, real estate, real relationships. Today, I want to take a step back and bring you into my world a little deeper, share the story of how I ended up in real estate and what the journey has looked like since. Spoiler alert, it wasn't a straight path, it wasn't always pretty, but it was worth it. Let's talk about where it all started. To do that, let's rewind to before I ever held a contract, hosted an open house, or got that butterflies in my stomach excitement over a fresh new MLS listing. I was working in a cosmetic spa. Every day I was surrounded by beauty standards, injectables, and skincare routines. I'll be honest, I'm incredibly grateful for that chapter. It definitely shaped me in so many ways. I learned the art of client care, how to work with high expectations, and how to deliver service that made people feel confident, empowered, and seen. And listen, one of the absolute perks of free Botox and filler, that was definitely a highlight. Didn't even realize how spoiled I was until I had to start paying for it out of pocket later. But, as time went on, the shine wore off. The work began to feel repetitive. I was in a structured 9 to 5 with limited earning potential and very little flexibility. My creative, free spirited nature started to feel boxed in. I was showing up every day, doing good work, but deep down I knew this wasn't it. This wasn't my forever. I needed a career that allowed me to grow, to evolve, and to build something that was mine. Here enters my greatest mentor. This is where my story really starts to pivot. My aunt, Elisa Squillico, is an absolute rock star of an agent. I've always admired her. But when I really started paying attention to her lifestyle, something shifted. I saw her creating her own schedule, managing her own clients, and building a business that didn't just pay the bills, it gave her life. She had freedom, flexibility, purpose. She looked lit up by her work. And as I watched her succeed, I realized this wasn't just a job, it was a vehicle, a path to more income, more ownership, and more life. It was like a light bulb turned on. And so I took the leap. In 2019, I got my real estate license and joined Keller Williams. The training was absolutely next level. I learned how to structure my business, talk to clients, understand contracts, and approach this industry with professionalism. But I felt as a brand new agent, the commission split felt like a punch in the gut. I was working so hard just trying to get off the ground, and I wasn't seeing the returns I had hoped for. I started questioning, am I in the right place? That's when I made the decision to join my aunt's brokerage at the time, Capital Real Estate, in 2020. The change was immediate. The split was better, of course, but more than that, I got to work side by side with Elisa. I can't overstate what that did for me. She mentored me beyond what any paid coach or formal trainer ever could. She poured her knowledge into me with patience, tough love, and so much grace. She believed in me before I fully believed in myself. It was a blessing I didn't even realize the full value of at the time. And in a beautiful, full circle moment, Elisa is now with Keller Williams herself, where she's truly found her home. It's amazing how the journey has a way of bringing us right back to where we're meant to be. To backtrack just a bit, when I first started with Capital Real Estate in 2020, I was currently working at the cosmetic spa. Then, as we all know, COVID hit. I stayed working in both, well, one job, one career, essentially, and then government assistance kicked in, and it allowed me to go into real estate full time and not have the immediate stress of where am I going to get my next paycheck from? I'm a new agent, so on and so forth. So, for 2 years, not that I had government assistance those full 2 years, but I was really able to mold my business into a well powered machine. And I did phenomenal. Then life got a little messy. In 2022, that was a year of change, growth, heartbreak, and reflection. After separating from my previous husband of 10 years, I found myself in unfamiliar emotional territory. I had spent years building something that no longer fit, and suddenly I was standing in front of a blank canvas, unsure of where to start, but knowing that something had to change. I craved more than just a new brokerage. I needed a fresh environment, a wider circle of support, and a reset, personally and professionally. That's when I joined Remax, hoping to expand my community and lean into new opportunities for connection and collaboration. Truthfully, the opportunity itself was solid. My broker was incredible. He was kind and welcoming. I met some genuinely beautiful people, many of whom I still stay connected with today. The tools were there, the people were there, but emotionally, I wasn't. Instead of focusing on my growth or rebuilding, I started slipping into distraction. I began filling my calendar with social events, late nights, drinks, parties, all with colleagues who became friends but weren't helping me elevate. I told myself I was networking, but in reality, I was avoiding the internal work. I was trying to silence the hurt instead of healing it. And I'm not ashamed of that season because it taught me that you can be surrounded by opportunity and still feel lost if you're not grounded in your purpose. It reminded me that no amount of surface level fun can replace real fulfillment. That chapter gave me clarity. Painful, needed clarity. And when everything eventually came to a head, I knew it was time to stop distracting myself and start rebuilding myself. It was time to realign with the version of me that I knew deep down I was meant to be. It was time to come home to myself. So, at the end of 2022, I received the best referral I could have ever received, and that was to Blue Realty and the Michael Longo team. I didn't know it at the time, but I was about to walk into one of the biggest blessings of my life, not just professionally, but personally. From day one, I felt seen, valued, and supported. This team, this family, they embraced me with open arms. They saw potential in me that I was still learning to see in myself. They reminded me that it's never too late to rise again, to rewrite your story, and to move forward with purpose. And Mike, along with his gorgeous wife Ashley, they have had my back since day one. Mike leads with integrity, with heart, and with a genuine passion to see people win. Whether it's a pep talk, a push, or just being there when you need someone to lean on, they both show up. And they set the tone for the whole team to do the same. That kind of leadership changes people. It definitely changed me. It helped me rebuild my confidence, refocus my energy, and reconnect with the version of myself that wanted more and was finally ready to go after it. And the results, they speak for themselves. 2023 was my best year in real estate yet, not just in numbers, although I crushed some personal goals, but in alignment and growth and in joy. I found my stride again. I showed up differently. I showed up fully. And that's what made all the difference. So here I am, a few years, a few moves, and a few transformations later, and here's what I now know. Your path will never be perfect, but it will be yours. The right mentorship can change your life. Sometimes you outgrow places, and that's okay. Real estate is about more than transaction. It's about people, trust, growth, and most importantly, it's about you. If you're in a job that doesn't light you up, if you feel like there's more for you, I promise there is. And you don't have to have it all figured out to take the first step. I started with so much uncertainty and a dream. And today, I'm building something that is mine. This podcast is part of that journey. Success with Jess isn't about pretending to have all the answers. It's about keeping it real, sharing what I've learned, what I'm still learning, and walking alongside you as we chase something bigger than just a paycheck. I want this space to feel like a coffee date with your real estate bestie, a safe place to be honest, messy, motivated, and inspired. So thank you for letting me share my heart today. If this resonated with you, share it. Send it to someone who needs a reminder that it's never too late to reinvent your life. And if you're in real estate, thinking about getting into it, or just love a good glow-up story, stick around. We're just getting started. Because at the end of the day, it's not about houses, it's about hearts. And this is Success with Jess.
Thank you for listening to Success with Jess. If you enjoy this podcast, please subscribe, like, and share.